Don't let people trick you out your spot. Don't let people trick you out your position, trick you out your opportunities. Don't let people trick you out of doing things that are good for you. See, when people see you working on your personal development, when they see you trying to do better as a woman, when they see you stepping into new territory, they will try to come along and sabotage you and stand in the way. Don't let people trick you out your spot. Don't let people cause you to doubt yourself. When people get triggered by the fact that you are trying to work on yourself, they will try to convince you that somehow you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you don't belong in certain spaces. Do not believe it. Don't allow other people to project their own insecurities onto you. A part of working on your personal development and maturing and recognizing your self-worth and your self-value as a woman is not allowing people to place doubt into your mind. Not taking what other people say, their own fears, their own insecurities, their issues, and making them your own. So I'll give you an example of this. Let's say you want to be a manager at your job. You want to be a manager, you want to get into a more supervisory role, and you come across someone, one of your coworkers, and you let them know, I want to step into the CEO position. I want to be a supervisor. I want to be a manager in some capacity. If they come along and say, you sure you want to do something like that? Because I don't really see you doing that. You're kind of quiet. I don't really see you dealing with like conflict and things like that. That's called projection. That's one of the number one ways people get tricked out of their spot, by allowing other people to project their own insecurities, their own inferiority onto other people. Their fears, their thoughts about the position is not yours. If you are enthused about whatever it is you want to do, don't let people trick you out of doing it, don't allow people to cause you not to go forward with what you want to do. Don't allow their fears and their insecurities to become yours. Don't let people trick you out your spot. If you are the kind of woman who's trying to step outside the box, and because I like to be transparent and I don't want you all to feel like I'm coming at you in a judgmental way or I'm trying to make you feel like you're the only one, I like to use transparency and use myself as an example. Let's say people try to convince you you're not cute enough, you're not personable enough, you're not intelligent enough to be in a public space. Let's say you're the kind of woman that wants to get into YouTube, social media, content creation. You want to do something where you're going to be more people facing. Don't let people convince you that you are not cute enough, you are not charming enough, you are not smart enough to be seen. This is another way that women get tricked out of their spot, by allowing other people to make them feel as if they are not beautiful enough, not pretty enough to actually be seen. If I would have listened to some of the voices of the people I've heard in the past, I would not be doing what I'm doing now. A lot of people believe, especially women, they get tricked out of their spot by getting fearful of being seen. They look at other people around them and say, I don't look like her. Yes, she has a lot of subscribers because look at how she looks. She has a lot of followers because of look at how she looks. She fits the aesthetic. She has this because of her looks, because of her beauty. A lot of women get tricked out of their spot by comparing themselves to other women, or by taking on the voices of the people who told them they were not good enough. The people who told them that you don't necessarily fit into this kind of arena. You don't necessarily fit into this or into that. That's their thoughts and opinions. When it comes to not being tricked out of your spot by other people and their insecurities, you have to ask yourself, how bad do I want what I want? How bad do I want to be successful at whatever it is I'm reaching toward? Are you tired enough of your current position in life that you refuse to allow people to trick you out your spot? When people try to convince you that you're not cute enough to do something, that you're not beautiful or pretty enough to be seen, disregard that. Everybody looks different. And I know that might sound like something that should be basic common sense, but it's not. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who believe in order for you to be the kind of woman that's, front facing toward people, be a motivator and inspiration, be a speaker, be a, whatever you want to be. If it's front facing, some people will try to convince you that you're not cute enough to be seen, that that's for somebody else. It's almost as if they want you to feel like you're not good enough to do the things that you want to do. So the third way women get tricked out of their spot is by believing they're not beautiful enough to be seen. And even if it's not on social media, let's say you want to do something where you're going to be facing guests, facing, people in a sales role. You're trying to get people to buy your product. You're trying to get people to, take part in your service. You just are going to be, or you want to do something that requires you to be seen. Don't allow people and the way they perceive you to trick you out of doing the things that you want to do. If somebody thinks, and I've heard this in my own life, this is where I come in. People have told me that, you're kind of quiet. I don't see you doing this kind of thing, because I tend to be more on the introverted side in my everyday life. Me, I don't like to just speak unless I have something to say. I'm not the person who just talks to hear themselves talk. I like to add value to conversations or speak when something is necessary to say. But otherwise, I'm perfectly fine with silence. And because of that, some people try to convince me that I don't see you being a motivator or a teacher. I don't see you being a coach because you're really kind of quiet. Some of the greatest people, and I'm not comparing myself to these people, but some of the greatest people who have much success in the world anyway, we're very introverted. We're very quiet. I think of people like Michael Jackson, Prince, Oprah. While she is in the front facing and she had a talk show, in her everyday life and the way she tends to interact with people, she seems to be a little bit low key. For me, from someone looking on the outside looking in. Who else? Janet Jackson. She doesn't even like to do interviews that much. It's like at a certain point, she stops talking because she's just tired of the conversations. And yet she's Janet Jackson. And I am not comparing myself to Janet Jackson. I am making the point that some of these most powerful performers and entertainers and talents, they tend to be more on the reserved and introverted side. Prince, he was one of the best pop artists of the 80s and 90s and so on. A lot of reinvention. And yet he's so quiet. He's so reserved. He didn't like all that attention unless he was performing. I say this to say that people don't know you as well as they think they do. And don't allow people to trick you out of your spot by convincing you that they know you better than you. It's a form of projection. So when people try to trick you out of your spot by telling you you're not pretty enough, you're not motivated enough, you're not smart enough, you have to ask yourself, how bad do you want what you want? How bad do you want to see a change in your life? If I would have talked to a lot of people before I started this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel, I would not be doing it, because I would have allowed their projection and the way they perceive me as just being too quiet and too this and too that, and I don't see it. I probably wouldn't have done it. Somebody else's I don't see is not your reality. Stepping out in faith, the way I believe it, on yourself, taking a chance and not allowing other people to project on you is a good way to combat people from tricking you out of your spot. Another way people try to trick you out of your spot is by comparing you to other people. They try to say, if you were like this person, I could see it, but you're not necessarily like her. I have seen people in my comment section on my other channel, All Things Woman, where people have tried to compare me to other YouTube content creators, life coaches. They try to compare me to these people and say, it sounds like you're trying to be like her, but you're not. Or something foolish. And I don't really get this too much anymore, but in the beginning, when I first started my YouTube channel, I had people constantly comparing me to other people. It's like people with limited thinking, and this is really what you have to understand with people who try to trick you out your spot. People with limited thinking, they think that there can only be one. They think that there could only be one person or one group of people doing certain things. So they try to make you have those same limitations because they're limited. Just because there's another woman doing the same thing that you want to do, that doesn't mean that you can't do it. And that's a major way that a lot of women get tricked out of their spot, tricked out of their opportunities, tricked out of so many things that they could have available to them because they allow other people to convince them that they're copying somebody else. Yes, they try to trick you out of your spot by saying, you're trying to be like so-and-so. You're trying to be like her. You're trying to be like them. Not realizing that there can be more than one. And I talk about envy and jealousy and those kind of things over on my other channel, All Things Woman. But you see these kind of forms of manipulation from people who try to trick you out your spot by trying to compare you to other people and say that you're trying to copy other people because they're limited. They feel like, well, she always wears white sweaters, so I can't wear white sweaters. She has her hair in curls, so I can't have my hair in curls. This is not a spiritual message, but this scripture came to mind where it said there is nothing new under the sun. Pretty much whatever is done is going to be redone. Whatever's been done in the past is going to come back full circle. It'll just be somebody doing something in their own way. They'll be putting a spin on it. And people don't realize that. Originality is pretty much gone. And then there are common experiences that everybody shares. There are common goals and obstacles that people can relate to. So your desire to step into spaces where they try to convince you there can only be one, where they try to limit you because they're limited, that's their, once again, their projection and their fears. You are unique, you are authentic, and while you might experience the same things that other people do, your perception and the way you see those things may be different. I say that to say, don't allow people to convince you or to trick you out your spot by trying to convince you that you're trying to be like somebody else. And that's literally, and this is full transparency, I got that often in the beginning when I started my other YouTube channel. You know, people with limited thinking, they think that only certain types of people can talk about certain things or do certain things. It's because they had people in their ear telling them, you can't do this because you're that. Or so-and-so's already doing that, don't do it. I make jewelry. There are a lot of people who make jewelry. Does that mean that I can't? No. Don't allow people to trick you out of your blessings, trick you out of your spot with their own limitations. And one of the other ways people try to trick you out of your spot is by trying to convince you that your goals are too big, that they're unrealistic. I actually spoke about how some people will look at you as if you're delusional on a video I put out previously. I'm going to link it in the description box of this video. But when your goals are too big for some people, they will try to trick you out your spot by trying to get you to dumb down what you're trying to do. Instead of becoming the CEO of a corporation, they want you to dumb it down a little bit and say, you know what, I'll just be the assistant manager or something. You know, I'll just run this department. No, you want to run the entire things. You don't want crumbs from other people's tables. You want the entire cake, and that's okay. Another way people try to trick you out of your spot is trying to convince you to settle. I can't stand when people try to convince you to settle for less than what you know you deserve and less than what you know you want. People always try to trick others out of their spot by trying to get them to settle, often because they had to settle. They don't want you to have the best. They want you to settle for second best. Settling and people trying to persuade you to settle, that's a form of manipulation. And that's another way they try to trick you out of your spot. So when you recognize people are trying to do this to you, they're trying to get you to settle. They're trying to get you to doubt yourself. They're trying to convince you that your goals, your dreams, your aspirations are too big. They're trying to make you feel as if you are trying to copy somebody else or compare yourself to someone else. Disregard those people. They are very limited in their thinking, and normally they do not have an ounce of leadership in their body. They are normally followers. They are normally the people who can be persuaded that one person is the greatest ever, and they will never try to do anything for themselves because they'll just follow that person. They won't use those people as inspiration to do their own thing. They'll just grovel and be followers. There are some people who are built to be basic. And if you're not that, you're going to have people trying to trick you out your spot. And forgive me if I'm getting a little bit passionate, but I really don't like when people do those kind of things. So don't let people try to trick you out your spot. Don't allow people to try to convince you to stay basic, to stay mediocre, when you know you could be doing more. And I'll understand everybody is not built for CEO position, or everybody is not built for entrepreneurship. Everybody's not built to be this great leader. But some women are. Some women are built to be beyond basic, to do great things, to make an impact, to be a leader, or to be an inspiration, or to just at least live a great life. Don't let people trick you out of your spot with their limitations and their projection. This is Soft Strength Society, where we overcome, evolve, and elevate as women. If any of that interests you, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Share this content. And if you watch this video until the very end, put the cute little butterfly emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. And if you have not subscribed to All Things Woman, check that channel out. I think you'll like it. Take care.